Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share the messages that I get from Spirit and from all of our higher selves that are helping us on this journey to unconditional love. And so what I wanted to share today is an article that somebody has sent me overnight. And I think it's just a perfect reminder of the fact that you can never mess up your twin flame relationship. Because isn't it funny how everything goes when you just need it? Because I've had a few emails recently from people saying, I did this, and does that mean that it's, messed up, or, should I not say this, or should I not, basically there's so much that goes on in your head thinking, should I do this? And the thing is, it's not about listening to your head, it's about listening to your heart and following what your heart says. Because very much so, it can be totally different what your head tells you to what your heart says. So, always go into your heart first before reacting to anything or, choosing a path, basically. Always be driven by your heart, because your head will tell you lots of crazy things, basically. So, your head will fill you with fear. Your heart will be your navigator home. There you go. That's the real thing. If you want the quickest route to your home, then follow your heart. And if you want help with that, then, I do healing, and I also do a crystal grid, and I do energy reads. And so I'm doing specials at the moment, only £20. And if you buy 2, you get 3, and so on. So I'm very happy to help anyone that I can to be able to get messages from your twin soul, to put you on your highest path, which is your love path. So I'm going to read this article because I think it's just so poignant for today. So, chaos isn't always pretty, but it is necessary for change. It seems that we often confuse amazing and easy. We run from chaos and then wonder why mediocrity bores us. Yet, in terms of love, the twin flame connection will ruin you from the outside in, so that you might begin fulfilling your soul contract. In this life, we all start off on the path that we think we should be on, but in truth, sometimes that differs greatly from where our souls are supposed to be. We make choices based on our upbringing and familial conditioning, never pausing to consider if we are following our own hearts or the expectations of those closest to us. This is why twin flames enter our lives. These types of soul contracts arise with the purpose of upsetting the status quo, so that we might be redirected on the path of our hearts. This means they will ruin relationships, marriages, careers, essentially anything and everything that keeps us small. Twin flames don't reunite instantly, because the love and relationships they find themselves in are actually byproducts of the actual growth and journey that is the entire purpose of the union. Twins are supposed to trigger one another, bother and upset each other, and cause havoc. But only because there isn't any way to become who we are meant to be by remaining who we were. Many times it seems twins think they've messed up their relationship with their counterpart. They think that not now is never, and that they have done or said the wrong thing, permanently pushing their twin away. Yet the reality is that that will never occur. There is no way to truly screw up and lose a twin flame connection, even if at times it may feel that way. Twins often need to travel through the beginning phases of awakening and ascension alone, and so there may be long breaks in the journey, hurtful words and triggered egos, but there will never be a way to truly ruin the sacred union between these two. This means that not only will everything happen in divine timing, but also that we can't ever really mess what is meant for us. Sometimes it's hard to believe that there is an ultimate plan for each one of us, possibly one that has been arranged prior to coming to Earth in this lifetime. Yet it's only our fear of greatness that holds us back from realizing our own. In twin flame dynamics, it's supposed to be rocky. The word rocky, we've had rocky, right? All the messages around rocky, you will win, you will achieve it if you carry on training and doing your, basically the training is living from the heart, right? Which is why rocky analogy is, again, brilliant. So, the runner is supposed to leave multiple times, and the chaser is supposed to feel abandoned. Unless these souls move through these specific dynamics, there is ultimately no way that they will be triggered enough to engage in the overall process of ascension and vibrational alignment. But we are sold the false belief that twins aren't supposed to reunite in this lifetime when things get difficult or they separate. Yet that is only one side that is published and discussed by twins who haven't yet begun the new reuniting phase. The reality is that if twins venture far enough together to begin ascension and the actual phase of runner and chaser, then they are, in fact, meant to join in this lifetime, as that is the entire purpose of the stages and subsequent journey that they will embark on. They aren't just here to develop on their own, they are here to awaken, to raise their consciousness, and to learn to practice and embody unconditional love, which is the highest vibration of God's energy. Twins are meant to join in this life to help encourage others around them. The more twins that reunite, the higher the consciousness of the planet is raised, and then also changed. To say that twins aren't meant to join in this lifetime is a feeling of helplessness at the apparent lack of control of the connection. But this is only felt when we try to rationalise and use logic, as we would with a relationship based more in the physical world than the spiritual. Twin flames aren't from this three-dimensional physical world, and so they have to be approached differently. One twin will treat the other awfully at times. They will project and even run. They will blame their twin for their inability to stay asleep and forget that the universe is tapping them on the shoulder to awaken. When this happens, it becomes easier to say that it's not meant to be, or even that perhaps this person in our lives isn't our twin. All this accomplishes, though, is demonstrating the readiness of the twin that feels wounded and perpetuates the status of the victim. As long as the chaser still feels wounded by the runner's behaviour, then they are not yet ready to practice unconditional love for their twin. One of the purposes of the falling apart and together is not only to trigger so that they might move through the 8 stages of soul development, but also to test and learn how to build unconditional love toward one another. Yet instead of seeing it as this, we become hard on ourselves. We sink into despair. We think that we've ruined this sacred union for all time, and that somehow we have messed up our destiny. The important thing to remember, though, is that we can't change fate. We can battle it, run from it, and ignore it, but in the end, what was destined to be will always be, even if it's in spite of ourselves. Twin flames are going to be reuniting more and more throughout this year and the coming 5 years as part of the general awakening of the planet. We need them to, as there is no other way to shift the consciousness of this planet. It's a love that truly can change the world, which is also why it's meant to be, no matter what we do. Well, there you go. That is by Kate Rose. And it is basically, she is spot on, right? It's all about knowing that your love is a destined love. And so it's all about the battle of the ego versus the heart, right? In a healing that I did the other day, I mentioned about the roundabout, and they were teaching each other to drive. What I love is that somebody then came to me afterwards to say that they taught, I think they met over teaching them how to drive. So what? And somebody else, the horse the other day was wild horses, and then somebody made a comment to say how poignant that was for her in her journey. And so that's why these messages are so amazing that come from your higher selves, is because, you know, for each message, it has something for somebody at some point, right? At the right time for you and your journey. Because we are all part of a collective consciousness rising up to create unconditional love on the planet. And that's such an amazing thing to have signed up to, when you really think that your job is to basically spread love. I mean, it's so wonderful. I mean, you know, there was last night, the night before, has been another big thing in London where a tower block has burnt down. And last night there was a vigil for the people. And I mean, it's just horrendous. There's so many horrendous things going on in the world. And so that's why, you know, there is no coincidences, right? That there is a divine plan there to basically change the world, you know, to really, really have an impact. And so that's why all roads on your journey, if you're a twin flame, will lead you back to your destination, which is your twin flame. It just depends on how many turns you take before you take the right turning, right? And that's really up to you as to whether you follow your heart or you let your fear and ego take over. And because there is a divine destiny. And so all roads lead to your twin. It's just a matter of how many turnings you take along the way to get the right one. So remember, your destination is for unconditional love, because that's what you're here to do. So an amazing article to come at the perfect time, because remember, you can never do anything wrong with your twin, right? Everything is, you know, keep going into your heart, because your heart is your quickest route home. All right, I hope that helps. And if you want to come to me for healing, I've had a few questions recently. The difference between a healing and a reading is a healing, I connect to your souls and your twin soul. So I get the messages. I see everything like a film. And so I give you a write-up of everything I see. You also get a guided mantra. And when you repeat the mantra, it aligns your energies. And I also do a 3-card angel read or 4-card angel read to give you guidance. So that's the first thing. That's a healing. And basically anything can come up, right? It could be past life. It could be blocks. It could be cutting cords. It could be an analogy of where your energy is at. It's basically whatever your soul wants you to know at that time to put you on your highest path. The reading is a reading using this deck, which is the Energy Oracle deck. And that basically can tell you what your energies are doing. And I do a spread based on the thinking, feeling, wanting of each of you. And so that's the energy read. And so the crystal grid I do is a crystal grid based around the forest lovers who are entwined together for eternity around the oak tree. And so you receive pieces of rose quartz, which are infused with the energies of Holy Fire Reiki. And it has the intent to bring all twin flames into their unions. And so when you meditate with that, it basically grounds the energies of unconditional love on the planet. So you then become part of a soul, you know, become part of the grid, basically, that are all helping to bring down unconditional love, root it into the universe, because it's using the tree energies. And yeah, to be able to help spread love and balance the energies with you and your twin. And so if you want to join the crystal grid, then again, all details are in the link. It's a one-off payment, and then you're in it for life and you receive all the healings that I do. If you wanted to have a one-on-one healing, it's £20. And if you want to have, and I send it to you, so it's a virtual healing. If you want to have, and I do packages. If you buy 2, you get 3, and so on until if you buy 8, you get 10. And the transformation in energies and what I'm seeing and hearing from people is quite amazing. It is a really, really beautiful journey. So if you are feeling any doubt, remember that all roads lead back to love. Okay, take care. Bye.